The Three Bears, retold for Iola. Goldilocks knew the rules. She'd had them told to her often enough. You don't go off without telling someone you're going. You don't go off if you don't know where you're going, silly. So wandering in woods just isn't on, is it? No. But Goldilocks is not always thinking about the rules. So one day when she wasn't thinking about where she was going, actually she was going home, she got off the yellow bus a stop too soon. She didn't realise that she was wandering off. Now, in the neighbourhood lived a family of bears. Daddy Bear, Mummy Bear and Baby Bear. But unlike the story you know, there was one more bear, Big Sister Bear. However, they were an unusual kind of bear family. A bit like Yogi Bear in 3D. I'll leave that for you to decide. This bear family had chosen to leave the woods and come and live in Goldilocks' neighbourhood. Actually, just down the road, one stop, which of course we'd worked out already. They had really tried to fit in with the local population, that's people like you and me, by wearing clothes and living in a clapperboard house with a first floor balcony, so they could watch out for, what do you think? Anyway, they had decided to become vegetarian, although Daddy Bear really missed his pulled pork sandwiches on a Saturday. But Mummy Bear made up for it with pancakes and, on cold days, porridge for breakfast. And she kept a very clean, tidy house and always knew where everything was kept. So can you imagine when she came home that day to find dirty bowls with hard, dry porridge stuck to them, a half-eaten peanut butter sandwich, and all their DVDs scattered on the floor. Even the swimming bag for Baby Bear's lesson was open, and his membership card was covered in sticky chocolate. Daddy, Big Sister, and Baby Bear followed her inside. "Someone's been looking at my record collection," bellowed Daddy Bear as they lay with finger marks all over the floor. "Someone's been reading my emails," growled Mummy Bear as her computer flashed out that it was very unhappy. "Someone's been playing my trumpet," grumped Big Sister Bear. "Someone's been eating my Cocoa Pops," wailed Baby Bear, who was always hungry. But things got worse. There were more signs of an intruder. That's someone who's broken into your house. Daddy Bear's bicycle had a buckled wheel. Mummy Bear's bicycle had lost its panniers. Big Sister Bear's bicycle saddle was facing backwards. Baby Bear's bicycle had gone. After a lot of wailing from Baby Bear, grumping from Big Sister Bear, growling from Mummy Bear, and bellowing from Daddy Bear, they all decided to go upstairs for a rest. And what do you think they found? Yes, you've guessed it, and won the jackpot. Goldilocks had found herself really tired after a long day at school and had popped into the clapperboard house just to see who might be around and perhaps give her mummy a quick ring to come and collect her. She'd begun to realise that she was a bit lost and mummy would be worrying about her. And mummy does, you know. And so does a daddy and a sister and a Naini, Appa, Grandma, Grandad, Tide and Nana, and uncles and aunts and all of your friends. What a lot of people there were who loved Goldilocks. She'd suddenly realised she was hungry and looked for something to eat. She found porridge and peanut butter. So she made herself a sandwich while she worked out how to cook porridge. She only had an auger at home, but being quite a clever little girl, she worked it out, found a pan, but, yes, you've guessed, managed to burn the porridge. Then she sat down to eat her snack and decided she'd like some music on. So she tried the records, but she only knew how to work an iPod, so she gave up and went in search of DVDs. But they were all about scary things like, we're going on a bear hunt but marked with an X certificate. That means scary for bears. So she put it down. She knew how to work a computer, so she cleverly thought she would check in case her mummy had sent an email. But silly Goldilocks, how would mummy know who to mail? Perhaps she should try to get home quickly and borrow a bicycle. They were all together in the hall. The first was too big and she fell off, twisting the wheel. The second one was too heavy because it had great big bags on the side, which she threw out of the door because she couldn't find a cupboard to put them away in. The next bicycle had a hard saddle, which she twisted round to try and make a bit more comfy, but it was still too hard. In the end, she tried the tiny bicycle. It looked just right, and off she went. But she only got a short way before she decided it was too small, and her knees hit the handlebars. People in her neighbourhood just left things they didn't want anymore outside their houses for anyone to take if they could give them a new home. So that's what Goldilocks did. She left Baby Bear's bicycle down the road and round the corner outside a number 17. And she walked back to the house. By now she felt so tired her eyes really wanted to shut tightly. So she went upstairs to find somewhere to have 40 winks. That's a quick snooze to you and me. Daddy and Mummy Bear's bed was too big and a bit chilly. Big Sister's bed was a top bunk and she was frightened of heights. So when she found Baby Bear's bed and fell onto the soft pillow, do you know, it was just right. And so that's where the extraordinary bear family found her that afternoon. Now, in real stories, the bears might have growled at Goldilocks, biffed at her, and maybe even played a game of bear baseball with her as their ball. Oh dear me! But I'm very pleased to let you know that this family of bears were not a bit like that. They were very modern bears. That means they'd learnt to be kind to everyone and polite too. So Baby Bear went up to the sleeping Goldilocks and gently snuggled up to her, all warm and cosy. Do you know, he couldn't have done a better thing in the whole wide state of Massachusetts, because the one thing Goldilocks loved most was cuddles, especially from bears. So when she woke up, she put her arms around Baby Bear and asked him to be her very own special new friend. Meanwhile, Daddy and Mummy Bear went downstairs to try and work out how to get Goldilocks safely home. They were very clever bears, and it didn't take them long to think of phoning all the schools in the neighbourhood until they found the one that Goldilocks went to, and so got her address. The rest you can work out for yourself. All the bears padded down the street, with Goldilocks holding Baby and Sister Bear's hands and singing, "We're going on a bear hunt," because she'd explained to them it was really a very unscary song. And of course, Sister Bear was taking lots of photos with her iPhone just to prove to all the other bears that it was really cool to have a Goldilocks as your new friend. Now, if you think that is the end of the story, you're almost right. But in grown-up books, they sometimes have a bit at the end called an afterword. This story has two. The first is for Mummy, who can explain it a bit more, and Iola, and the second one is for Mare and Daddy, who can explain a bit more too. Afterword 1. Appa says that when astronomers and scientists are looking for new planets that might sustain life, they're looking for one that's neither too hot nor too cold, one that is just right. So they search for the Goldilocks star. Isn't that lovely? And Afterward 2, from Paper Promises, Money, Debt and the New World Order, a fascinating read for Daddy. Treat money mainly as a means of exchange, and it seems obvious that we would want more of it. The more exchange, trade, we have, the wealthier we get. If you lend to borrowers with good credit, then the money will return to the bank when it's repaid. But treat money as a store of value, saving your wealth, then we want to restrict its supply. So a bit like the porridge of Goldilocks, we want a money supply that's not too hot, commonplace, not too cold, scarce, but just right.